Today, I'm diving into the world of embroidery. I'll be showing you how much money people are making with it on Etsy, and then I'm going to show you a sample I got from Printful and how easy it is to hook up your Etsy shop to Printful even if you already have an existing store. And then I'm going to share 8 essential tips to help you master embroidery design without the headache. First though, while everybody was crying about how a merger of the two titans of POD was going to be terrible for all of us because prices were going to soar, I said, what if this actually works out better for all of us? What if we see even better pricing because of being able to leverage insanely huge volume discounts with manufacturers and shipping companies? Well, I got more laugh emojis than anything else really, but guess what? I was right again. Hot off the presses now is Printful's reintroduction of their paid premium plan. This will give you up to 20% off their DTG pricing and free digitizing for embroidery, which would normally cost you around $6.50 per design. They launched this not even 4 weeks ago at the time of this recording, and it's way simpler and way more clear. We'll look at all the sweet little perks later, but for now, I want to show you how much money people are making on Etsy with embroidery. Alright, so I'm just at the Etsy homepage here, and right away they're showing me, original finds for any budget. I'm just going to click on custom tees and hoodies under 50 right here. We got an embroidery shop here, but looking at some of this, we've got a cat here, and you can see this is doing 11 monthly sales right now. The listing age is only 11 months old. What are we looking at? Oh, embroidery right here. In my auntie era, homebody, no bummer summer. Look at this, 176 monthly sales, 160,000 plus views, and the listing's not even 2 years old. It's doing 176 sales a month. Got a few more here. Mama, it looks like 13 sales. Listing's not even a month old. Here it is again. If you're wondering how I'm seeing these stats right on the search page results here, it's this little guy right here. It's the EverBee Chrome extension. You can tell that it's on because it's got this little blue globe here with the EverBee logo in it, and it's got the on signal here in green, but it allows us to see everything at a glance. So I'm not seeing too much more on the embroidery tip right now. This looks like very handmade embroidery. So I'm just gonna go up here and search embroidery. Embroidered dad sweatshirt. So we know that Father's Day is coming up in June, but this is huge right now. 1,351 monthly searches. Again, this is EverBee showing us search volume at a glance as we're typing, but embroidered personalized shirt is always going to be popular, but I didn't realize there were this much for dad sweatshirts. So I'm just going to click on that, see what we can pull up here. All right, so we got dad, established 2024, a little bit of something on the sleeve here. 94 monthly sales. The listing is only 4 months old. It's got a huge conversion rate of over 4.42%. I do find that some of these monthly sales numbers are actually low. In my case, my actual sales numbers were almost double whatever we was showing here. So if anything, I mean, we're erring on the side of caution in a big way here, right? You've got embroidered papa right here, 147 monthly sales, conversion rate of 2.28%. So in the world of e-commerce, as it relates to retail, you're looking at an average conversion rate of like 2.75 to maybe 3.25. Anything over 3 is pretty solid, but anything over 3.5, you're doing really well, and anything above 4 or close to 4.5 is exceptional. I can show you some of my stats later, but through Q4, I averaged 7%. That is actually double most people's target number, and it's double the average for the industry, right? So pretty good numbers there. I was pretty happy with that. I really like this one. So one thing that is really cool with embroidery is you can literally do anything as long as the letters are thick enough. So you can get a custom sweater done for somebody who had a gift note or something like this left to them by a grandson or something. It looks like Lucas here. You inspire me. Kiss, kiss, hug, hug, heart, Lucas. Like that. How awesome is that? I love you to infinity, it looks like. Kiss, heart, and Jackson. So these are handwritten by children, and they've been turned into an embroidery design for, their loved one or whatever, right? So what an awesome gift this would be. So we're looking at embroidered your handwriting personalized sweatshirt. Couples anniversary, wedding special occasion, sentimental gift, mom, dad, wife, or husband. I would actually change this to mom as well, assuming we're selling to the American market as well, but mom is traditional UK spelling. So we can just click right here and analyze listing, and it's going to give us a bunch of detail. We're looking at 4 monthly sales here, 226 in revenue so far with 8 sales, and the listing is only 3 months old. So conversion rate of up over 3.5%, which is huge. And it looks like the visibility score here that we can see with EverBee is a little low, so it could probably even stand to do better. And it does have a review ratio of 25%, so that is actually pretty high. But let's go back and keep looking here. Right here, this one looks like It's a line drawing of a father holding a son here. So I'm going to check this one out. It's in 8 carts. It's not even a year old. Doing 4 monthly sales, almost 200 total sales. This looks pretty sweet, pretty simple to do. You can get an image and you can trace it with any pen tool out there, or if you have a pen and a tablet. That's impressive. And we've got some full color embroidery here. So this says 9 months old, 97 sales. Looking at 4 months old, 4.42, 94 monthly sales, and a kid and mom and daughter, and it looks like mom and daughter on a horse with the horse's name. That looks awesome as well. This listing is only 3 months old. Cool dad here. Look how easy this would be to design, right? And you got a customization here for Theo for the son's name. Super simple to do, folks. This is all just regular text-based stuff too, right? I've got a few videos on just text-based designs and how awesome they are and how they sell, but I want to dive in here and show you guys how much money. So this is Etsy's pick. They've got 3,800 total sales. We're just going to analyze listing here and look at this. Again, right in Etsy, we haven't left the app at all. So we got 176 sales, doing $4,700 a month in revenue. Visibility score is through the roof at 100%, right? So this is the kind of listing that you would want to take some notes from. So looking at this listing here, we got a bunch of different colors. It looks like it's the Gildan 18,000, which it is, yeah. And they've also got the hoodie. So it is the most economical and best bang for buck sweatshirt out there. Looking at an XL sweatshirt. So what you see here is the toddler sweatshirt, but as soon as you get into the adult sizes, you can see an XL here, for example, is $29.39, regularly $42, and that's kind of in the same vein for margins that I sell my stuff at. So we got 6 sales in the last 24 hours too. Looking at this, $42, 30% off sale. They're selling for $29.39. And looking at shipping, ships from Houston to the United States at $8.19. So as far as Etsy telling us to stay under $6 for priority shipping, clearly these guys don't even worry about it, right? And we're going to come right over to Printful here, and I want to show you guys. I got just over 2,600 listings fulfilled by them so far, and they've been error-free. I used to use them for the Gildan 64,000 when they had a really cheap price on them, but looking at this stuff now, their premium plan is crazy cheap. Since the merger of the two titans of POD, like I said, the prices here for their premium stuff has come down in the premium program. It's called the growth program. You can just come into the catalog, same idea, right? The catalog's on the left side here, or you can just type in 1800. And my wife Stacy actually prefers Printful for overseas orders because they're the only ones that have a Bell & Canvas 3001 that is available to ship from Australia to Australia, right? And if you guys know anything about what I like to do, is I like to ship orders from within a country nearest the recipient, because then they get it in a way shorter amount of time, and you get to charge the premium shipping price as though you'd have to fulfill it from potentially from a different country, but you'll get to capitalize on the within country shipping. So you might charge like $15 or $18 for shipping on something, assuming that worst case you had to ship from the United States to Australia, for example. But if you're able to fulfill that order from within Australia, now you're only paying like a $3 or $4 shipping fee, right? At least for the t-shirt. So if we look anyway at the Gildan right now, the 18,000, just going to click on XL here. So we got Printful growth here. So $13.99. Look at the price difference, right? Basically $14 to $18.50. So you're saving like $4.50. And let's see here. And we've got the $8.49 shipping. So if we look now at this listing, we can pull up the Etsy calculator. They're $41.99, but they have a 30% off sale. Their shipping price was $8.19. The cost of the item now is $13.99 plus $8.49. So with a 30% off sale running, they're making $11 US after total fees and costs. Again, all of this is right in Etsy. You can see I'm still on the Etsy tab here. All of this information is right in the sidebar from the EverBee Chrome extension, right? So you can literally see everything at a glance here. If, for example, they didn't have a sale running, we're looking at some serious margin, right? Almost 45% margin. It literally doubles their profit from 1107 to 22 and change, right? This is massive profits. At Christmas, I might run a 25% off sale. I don't usually have to run much higher than that because you've built the sales momentum. So worst case, I'm making $13 a pop when I'm pricing between 42 and 45 for a crew neck. I price closer to 60 for the hoodies, but I just wanted to show you guys what you're actually able to make with this stuff, right? Super nice to see, nice and easy to see all the stats here right inside. And if it's a tool you're interested in using, I do have a link via Jay. I'll leave the link down below for sure, for their annual plan, which gives you 33% off, which is huge. You save 120 bucks. And it really breaks it down to about $19.99 a month. And if you do go for the annual option, you'll get their Etsy Growth Academy there, of course, for free. Again, you guys know I do everything I can to save you a few bucks along the way. So in this case, we got to talk about Printful coming in hot here with their new plan, which is only $24.99 a month. They got rid of this tiered system they have. They're calling it the Printful Growth Plan. It's the only option. So they've got a free and then the growth plan now. With it, you're going to get 33% off of all products that you could have previously had 30% off. There's 25% on sample orders, which they already used to give us 20% off, but you can get 25% off sample orders. There used to be a limit on it. I'm pretty sure there's still going to be a limit on how many you can do per month, but I was at a point, I think I was able to get 3 a month or something to that effect, which is such a huge, a relief when you're trying to set up your business for the first time and actually order some products so you can touch and feel them and know what it is that the customer is going to end up with. 25% off is a big win, right? 9% off on your branding, free embroidery digitization too. So their growth plan has dropped another 10%. And I just wanted to scroll down here so you can see what you're comparing here. So they got up to 33% off custom products, 9% off the product branding, 25% off your sample orders, unlimited stores with integration, so there's no limit to how many stores you can hook up to this. Free embroidery digitization, normally it looks like $4.95 in pounds, which I believe is $6.50 US for sample orders. And it looks like they got some perks like larger font print for specific orders. So pretty loaded there. And I got a little bit of an inside scoop here. And there's a couple of things that they don't actually put on their website here. So I'm going to show you these. So this is kind of like behind the scenes here. I don't think I'm supposed to be showing you this stuff, but I don't want to be gatekeeping any info here, so I want to show you guys exactly what kind of perks you could be looking at here. So above and beyond their 11 years, they're tuning it as the most feature-rich plan compared to other PODs. I think that one of the biggest perks on this in terms of feature-rich is obviously, the profit margins. And I'm going to show you a little bit about those as well, but you can get a free growth subscription plan when you reach a certain sales target. So what is that number? That number I know is $12,000. I didn't see it posted anywhere yet, but I know that that's what that number is. So if you make $12,000 sales, you're now all of a sudden not going to be on the hook for their growth premium plan, right? That is a huge amount of savings in its own right. Let's do some math. 12 months times the $25, call it. So you got $300 savings in your pocket right off the bat, not to mention that you're able to leverage the 20% off for that duration of that 12 month. And quite literally, no other print-on-demand company offers this. That is absolutely huge. They used to have this kind of tiered system back in the day where you'd be bronze, silver, and then gold or diamond or whatever it was. But this now is just, you hit that 12K, they're going to give you a free year of the premium. Pretty simple, super clean, super clear. And now I'm going to show you something else that maybe I'm not supposed to show you. But look at the Bell & Canvas 3001, for example. Their old price with the growth plan was $10.30. Their new price now is going to be $9.49. I know most of you are selling this when you're selling t-shirts. That is a massive price decrease, almost 8% or 81 cents. So you're seeing lots of really good pricing here for different products. The Gildan tees are down to $7.79, the Gildan 5000. This is an insane amount of savings for their DTG products. And it looks like even their DTF. Look at this. I love that you guys are seeing this list for the first time with me. Classic T, DTF, 904. So that's pretty sweet too. And since we're talking about embroidery, what good would it be if I didn't have a product to show you? So I'm just going to hold this up here. Look at the detail in this. Mind the lint, it took a long time to get down here to Belize. So I just want you guys to see this. Like, how tight is this? We're going to go over 8 rules to make this kind of idiot proof so you can't really screw it up. I even actually broke some of those rules just to see what would happen. One of which is not having too much detail here, but I definitely put it to the test and it turned out awesome. I'm just going to hold this up and unfold it for the first time. So that's it there on the Gildan hoodie. Pretty sweet, and it's in the perfect location. And just so you can see, we've got the Gildan Heavy Blend. It's a 2XL. So now for the 8 tips to make embroidery basically idiot proof. The first one is keep it simple. I totally broke this rule with that palm tree. You don't need to be a Photoshop pro or any, graphic design kind of expert or anything to that effect, they got a design maker tool right inside of Printful that you can use. And their tool even lets you know if your text or your clip art is going to be too big or too small. The second tip is to head over to the catalog and check out all the options you have for embroidery, because depending on how you design, you may not be wanting to design for sweatshirts and hoodies, right? What I think is a game changer with this is that you can filter by technique and choose from either standard embroidery, which is, you know, the normal stuff for regular designs up to 6 colors depending on the threads available, but they also have some products that allow you to do unlimited color embroidery. So if you need different custom colors or even gradients, this is an absolute game changer in the embroidery game. They actually dye the threads as they're being put on the shirt. Tip number 3 is to follow specific product guidelines. So before you start, you got to check the guidelines and the templates for that particular product, right? So download the template, set your artboard to the exact dimensions, make sure it's 300 dpi, and Bob should be your uncle. Tip number 4, and this is kind of a big one, even though it's really easy to navigate as long as you stick to those template rules, but it's something that you all should take a minute to digest and understand a bit more about. Understanding digitization. It's the process of converting your design into a stitchable format. The machine creates a file that tells the needles where and how to fill in details based on how it was digitized. Tip number 5 is pretty basic, but stick to the best practices from the platform. So embroidery has its limits compared to ink printing, right? Like you can't get as fine lines and the tiny details. They just won't show up as good when you embroider. Although, let's be real, that's some pretty sweet detail on the palm tree, right? So I can put my finger there. That's some small fine lines, and you can even see the hints of grass there at the base of the tree. That's pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited about that. But you should probably err on the side of caution. I really wanted to test it out and it looks awesome. But you're always going to want to make sure you stay within the guidelines and following their best practices so you don't end up with unhappy customers. Tip number 6 is to choose your thread colors wisely. So for standard embroidery in this case, you're going to want to design using the approved color threads, right? If you're going for unlimited color embroidery, you have a full CMYK range flexibility. Again, this is crazy how many colors they have, but you still always want to follow their best practices. So you're not going to want to use really thin type or anything like that. Ultimately, less detail in those things in terms of the lines is where you're going to notice a difference and win if you stay within those constraints. Tip number 7 here, they actually give you a hand width. So you need to know what happens if the guidelines aren't met. So if your design, for example, kind of deviates from their guidelines a little too much, their team is actually going to probably tweak your design and then send you a proof for you to approve. They'll put your order on hold and they won't move forward with it until you actually approve that design. Pretty sweet, right? That they actually take the initiative to fix your design. But if the changes are super significant and it's not enough for them to be able to do what they need to do on their end and just send you something for approval, you're going to have to redo the design and resubmit it. So save yourself the headache and just play within the rules, but at least you can sleep easy knowing that if your file is a little out of whack or a little too far out of whack for their quality control, it's not going to get embroidered and you won't end up with upset customers. And tip number 8 is pretty much the easiest one out there. If you have any questions, just ask, right? You can ask me. I'll do my best to give you what I know of embroidery. I used to work closely with a few embroiderers back in the day when we had our own print shop. And of course, they have a dedicated support team, so you can just email them at support@printful.com. If this is of any value to you, please go ahead and use my link down below. It costs you nothing extra to use. It'll shoot me over a few pennies and allow me to continue to give you this kind of information for free. And they've got a step-by-step here. It's really easy. I'm just going to show you how to connect your store. So it's set up a store using an e-commerce platform or marketplace, design and add your products to your store so you can push from the provider to your store and obviously start selling because everything will be connected. But what happens if you've already got an Etsy shop and you've been using a few other ones, or for example, you're using somebody else, but you need to have your Bella and Canvas 3001s, for example, fulfilled to from within Australia? Well, Printful is your go-to that way because they've got a global network that way, and I'm just going to show you how to connect a shop here. When you're on your home here, I'll just go to my dashboard. You just come over here to stores, and you can see I've got a few stores already hooked up here, but you just scroll down to right here to create a new store, choose your method. I would choose platform, and you can see they got a bunch of logos here, so I'm just going to click on that. Got Shopify, Etsy, Wix, WooCommerce, Squarespace, Amazon, Square, Big Cartel, eBay, TikTok Shop. They still have an integration with Walmart, even though a few others have kind of kiboshed theirs on that end, but it's endless. They even have a Gumroad integration too. And of course, ShipStation. So if you've got a different integration or something like that, or you're printing for yourself and you need to outsource some of that if you get too busy, then you can just have them connect to the ShipStation. So all those stores that you're printing for, it'll go into ShipStation and it'll get pushed and routed to Printful here. So coming up here, I'm just going to click on connect. Just make sure you're logged into your Etsy store already, but I'm just going to come down here and connect to Etsy. It's going to say I'm signed in as jay@jaysway.works, same as any other platform you would have already connected to, and you just come over here to grant access. In this case, it says I already have an account, but we can continue. And I'm connecting this store to my existing account now. Confirm connection. And the shop is Jay's Way 2, and now it's telling me I can add my first product. If you wanted to go into add product, you can do it. You can pick your products here and it'll take you through step by step how to push the products to your Etsy shop based on these 5 steps here, right? You're going to create the product, you create a design or upload your own design, create your mock-ups, and you got the details, and then you can price it all, right? Or you can import from store. So now I would go over here, you can choose a particular store. So you can import from an existing store elsewhere and then submit all of these to your new shop that you just connected. So if you wanted to pull something off your Shopify and put it to your Etsy or vice versa, in this case, we connected an Etsy shop, so you can take something that's already existing and push it that way. But otherwise, it works like every other place would. So you can just come into orders here. You can just go into all here and it'll show you a mix of all the orders that are not synced, or you can just come over here to needs approval. And all you have to do here is click on any one of the orders in your list here and click on complete order. Super easy to do. I know that I was selling the Gildan 64,000s and we have a 2XL dark heather here. It says not synced. So all I would do is sync product. You can go through the rigmarole here and just click on men's clothing or type in the SKU. I know it's 64,000, but just to show you where it is, you can go on the menu on the side here. We can do a drop down, or you can just come here, men's clothing. I would just pick t-shirts and scroll down to my 64,000, which you can see I've already favorited. And you can now either click on here to upload your design or drag and drop your design onto here. In this case, I'm just gonna drag my inner circle logo onto here. I'll just click on the corner here to make it fit the size here. And then I will click on this for position, just to click on that to make sure I'm centered in the middle so it's not out of whack. Click on product and pick our colors. A dark heather, and it was a 2XL. And then I'll just click continue. And now every time that this is ordered, I don't have to do anything ever again. It's gonna populate with the same color and size. Super simple to do. And then continue to shipping. And you can see the fulfillment costs here. So we've got a little bit of a discount because we've got the growth plan. They actually automatically route your orders to ship from nearest the recipient. So there's no guessing with any of that. And then down here, if there were more than one shipping options, you would see them here. We only have the one. So I would just continue to review and pay. So you have one more step before anything goes wrong. It'll show you right away how much money you have left in your Printful wallet. I'll usually throw on like $1,000 at a time because of the volume I do, but you don't have to do that every single time. The point of using the wallet is so that if you have maybe 3 or 4 orders, instead of having that credit card processing fee for every single transaction. So if you had 3 orders today, you would end up paying a transaction fee for that credit card use every single time, where if you load your wallet, then at least it's only a singular transaction, right? And then you've got, enough money there to pay for a few orders at a time. Then you just come over here and click pay securely. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So I hope that takes some of the guesswork out of this. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. And I am going to do a shameless plug about my Inner Circle membership, which is opening at the end of the month. We've had some killer wins. We've had some members having record sales in February already, beating their existing January and even in some cases their December numbers. The biggest thing I wanted to kind of shout out here is that this is the only print-on-demand coaching program led by an actual professional graphic designer. I got 20 years experience and I've sold over 200,000 t-shirts while having transitioned into POD. Before that, I did all kinds of commercial print graphics, everything. I know printing processes inside and out, and ultimately I know how to make a design that will sell. So our doors are reopening February 24th. You can lock in at $47 forever. This is the VIP waitlist. On February 28th, the price is gonna go up another $20 to $67 for another 4 days, and then the doors are gonna close on March 3rd. So you can see the countdown timer here. there, that is the timer until the doors open. So if you get on the wait list, you'll have that link emailed to you as soon as the doors open. As it says here, no upsells, no strings. There's no kind of like take you to another upsell offer or anything like that. I don't believe in that stuff. To me, I'm like, here's the offer, take it or leave it, right? No fluff, really, kind of how I've always shot you guys straight. You do have a 6-month option here that'll save you $5 a month, and or an annual option that'll save you $10 a month, right? Effectively giving you the membership for $37 a month. And who is it for? It's for an aspiring or existing Etsy seller who needs to elevate their designs, boost sales, and stand out in the marketplace, or the Amazon merch seller looking to improve their product designs and attract more customers and increase profits. You can read all about it. I actually have to update these stats because we're well past those numbers now. So in this membership, you're going to get 4 weekly live training calls, a minimum of 4. So your week 1 is graphic design training. So I'm going to go through something that'll give you some insight into what makes a good design and how to effectively action those steps that you learn. And then we go into what we call the listing hot seat reviews. So you submit your listings. We solicit the hive mind and my own experience, and we'll go through and shape your listing and give it back to you, and you get to list it and sell on Etsy full and free because you've had a hand in the design, which is what satisfies Etsy's requirements. But also you can go ahead and throw it on Amazon merch as well if that's your game, right? Week 2 is niche research and design. So you pick the niche and watch me do an over-the-shoulder deep dive. Similar to how I do it in my YouTube videos, you see the research and design deep dives. But what you don't see is all the stuff in between. You see a more curated, more cut and edited video at the end of the day, right? Week 3 is only listing and hot seat reviews. So we take whatever after the training we have time for to go through your designs. On week 3, we do only that. It's so valuable that we needed to do it twice because this is me literally taking your designs and turning them into something that will sell. And week 4 is AMA and or guests. You get to ask me anything, which is what AMA stands for, and you'll get to see and hear from some of the best in the industry. So coming up soon on the 26th, I believe, we're having Hannah Gardner from Profit Tree. March 5th, I believe we're having Juna Duncan. You guys know him from Detour Shirt. He's going to come in and give us our design training for that day. And at the end of that month, we have Philip Anders, who's also going to join us, which is super huge because the bonus here is that Philip and Juna are going to join us on regular rotating schedules. Pretty sweet, right? And you can get a sneak peek here of our Etsy treasure map. Here's some stats. I've sold over 2 million, over 100,000 t-shirts just on Amazon merch alone. And I'm not going to read through all of this stuff, but you can see what you have here, right? Like monthly trend reports that everybody loves, but ours are next level because we have more than one contributor. It's not just me. There's a few of us in there. I'm not going to give all the secrets away, but worthwhile checking out. Got a couple of things that nobody else offers, right? Above and beyond the actual graphic design stuff. We got Pinterest training, got golden rules of POD. We have Amazon. The Etsy ads training has been done by none other than Carla Murphy, who, if you don't know, you're going to get to know her inside of my membership. And the Pinterest training is done by Sheila, who is a Pinterest wizard. Like I've said from the beginning, I'm trying to build the best bang for buck membership out there, period. And even more recently, we added an Amazon merch makers map. It's got a tiered succession plan, so you know where you need to be at any point in your Etsy or Amazon merch journey. And like I said, Philip and Juna are going to be joining us on rotating regular basis, talk AI and design, and answer all your questions, right? So that alone is priceless. But you don't have to take my word for it. You can scroll all the way to the bottom and see all the wins that our members have shared in recent months. And I'm also going to leave you with one here.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I joined Jay's Way Inner Circle last May 2024 after a year of being frustrated with the Etsy POD process. When I opened my shop in April of 2023, I thought it was going to be pretty easy money. I watched hundreds of videos, did lots of training, and while I learned a lot, I also lost a lot of money. Jay was my last hope, and I have to tell you, it was well worth every cent and every minute I've spent with this group. I've made friends, we have a great community, I've been taught how to do design, and most of all, at least for me, how to make Etsy ads work for me and my shop. Join in, you won't be disappointed.